Good morning and welcome to day 2 of official lockdown in South Africa. Day 13 for those of us who self-isolated and had the privilege of that when the schools locked down and the call came to self-isolate. So it's been an adventure. I hear some parents are already crazy at day 2. Some people yesterday in our area, everyone went to gardening because they could not sleep late or sleep in. They've lost the ability. It's crazy and beautiful times, unique times, stressful times, but times that we can stand together. My thoughts and prayers goes out especially to those of us who do not have the blessing of a big home or a large garden to isolate themselves in, who are confined to tinier spaces for more people. May you find love for each other and be closer after this, emotionally and stronger as well. Maybe may you be considerate of your family members in this time as well. Secondly, for those of us who live in abusive households or have people that abuse us emotionally, physically, sexually, any type of abuse, there are hotlines. I will throw them in the comments down below this video for South Africans, but find the hotlines for your country. It is important. You are a human being, you are breathing, therefore you do not deserve abuse. So if you feel unsafe or if you are unsafe, WhatsApp, call these hotlines, shout at a neighbor to call these hotlines when he or she is not looking. Keep yourself safe. Love yourself enough to get out. And it is possible, even in lockdown. There are things in place. There are, especially in South Africa, things in place to get you safe. Then the purpose of the video was this: to just distract us from all the chaos and focusing on one thing and letting life go by. The church calendar is in a time of Lent, a laden state. So Lent is usually the 40 days before Easter. And lockdown will be around the time of Easter as well. So Easter is the time that we celebrate that Christ had died, suffered, became human. God became human in the form of Christ, and that Christ had died for our sins, suffered immense inhumanity, so that we could have life if we believe in him. So in Lent time has been set apart by the church to focus on our sins, to willingly sacrifice something, bring it and sacrifice it to God, and every time we miss that thing, to truly reflect upon our lives, reflect on what's good, what's bad, what we can change, what's unhealthy, what's good and healthy, and turn away from certain habits, certain doings, certain sins if it need be, and turn it to God throughout this 40-day period, a 40-day of willing fasting and sacrificing. So now, with lockdown, we have been willingly, some of us, unwillingly, ordered to sacrifice quite a lot in a lot of things that we've taken for granted, which is also in accordance to Lent. Because if you say fast coffee for 40 days of Lent, you would realize how precious coffee is to you, or how unhealthy you feel when you drink 17 cups a day and scale down to 3. Basic things. Sweets, I know people have sacrificed smoking and then just never picked it up because they reflected on it. But there's a couple of things, and I want to suggest to you that I have a notepad, because I have many notepads, but this size of page, or cutting pages up in that size, and it's a fun activity you can do as a family as well, at home or in your lodgings where you have 3 to 4 housemates. You can also feel free to do this. And so I've written down some things, and I want you to do it in 2 categories, and just one thing of something that you would miss. So at this stage, it's called a Disney model, writing things down on multiple little thingy-bobs. But the first column, I want you to have two groups of pages. So the first things that we reflect, if we reflect upon life, is to write one thing per page of the things that you might be unwillingly in lockdown sacrificing. So the first one I wrote down this morning was freedom of movement. The second thing after my convenience of my experience is convenience. Just the convenience of getting into your car and driving to a takeaway or Uber Eats, or just having the ability to just meet up with friends, just the convenience of getting to places and getting to people, or getting stuff, ordering whatever you like from Takealot. A lot of us do not have those conveniences, but to those of us who have conveniences, who are not struggling, it is a big thing to realize, and it's a big gift to realize that you have lost. For many of us, this is the most important one, a means to survive. A lot of us are not being paid if we do not work. More than half of South Africans live this way, and that means to survive has now been sacrificed unwillingly, and it causes a lot of legit anxiety and fear of what will happen with my family. My family does not have food. We do not have a single thing in our cupboards, not because we didn't plan, but because we do not have an income of thousands or even hundreds a month. And then young adults, it is a group of friends that we meet up every Sunday, every last Sunday of the month. And these group of friends truly are, and sometimes beautiful strangers, truly are spiritually to me a great help in my life. They're some of my closest friends, some of my most challenging acquaintances. They are really beautiful people and diverse, and that would be this Sunday, and we would miss it, and I would miss it dearly, because it's been something that it's worth sacrificing time for in my life. So that's the first thing, and there's a few things. You can sacrifice luxuries, you can sacrifice your movie time, whatever your time is. I know for one of my friends, playing soccer with the community, that's his biggest sacrifice at this stage. Hopefully they do get to see each other through their windows, but it's a lot of time exercising, walking your dog, just being able to see other human beings. That could also be a sacrifice, especially for the extroverts. People, check in on your extroverts. We do not know how to deal with this, even if we're well developed. Secondly, that's the first column. That's that which we have noticed to sacrifice. These are things we are putting in the first thing. The second thing is things that we are grateful for. And for those of you who've only had 2 days, I'm sorry, it's going to be a bit more difficult than you, except if you were the guys doing gardening from at 6 a.m. yesterday morning. Sleeping in is something of a gift for me. Especially I love sleeping in. I just don't like mornings. I can stay up all night and sleep all day. But sleeping in is a gift that this has given. For many of us, despite the challenges it brings, I'm so glad I've spent more time at home. I haven't spoken to my kids in forever. I don't even know how to do it. That's time that you have for that. And solo time is something that you also get. So I'm cheating a bit. I took a year sabbatical and took a lot of solo time. So I know this is a gift. And then I cheated as well. I wrote a second one on this page. Please don't do that. Write one on each page. Don't be like me. But a chance to rest more. Even though your brain is not used to resting and you're going crazy. One of my close friends wrote me a letter and said we're at day 2 of official lockdown, and I really feel like murdering everyone I love. If I make it past day 5, I know I'll be fine. If you make it past day 5, you'll be grand. We'll put up new goals. Just get through day 2 today. That's fine. So after you have done your little reflection time, writing down these 2 things, It'll be good for you if you want to do it solo. I like doing these kinds of things solo. These are the kind of things I do not necessarily share immediately, at least. Go through them and share if you do it as a family fun event. Go through them and look at the gifts and look at the challenges, and on every challenge, for example, let's take convenience. Write down or chat about it in your family, about how many things that you've taken for granted. I mentioned in my life that just the convenience to go outside, just the convenience to walk my dog, just the convenience to order things in. If I'm lazy today and I have the blessed privilege of having enough to order in, or to just go out and spend the day walking around in a park or in a public place where I can clear my head, or just go to the movies. I love solo movies. Just all those conveniences. How many of those are things that you've taken for granted? One. Two, things that are privileges that others do not have. Because all my conveniences are. There's a lot of conveniences that I do take for granted and that I do not realize always are privileges. And there's a lot of conveniences that you would find that you realize is actually luxuries. And then secondly, then we bring to the gratefulness, grateful that we've had those, and also grateful that God can reflect upon what of these are healthy, what of these are unhealthy, and what would we want to change to become more community, to be more community minded. And in case of this one, how we can help even though we are in lockdown. There are a lot of places that you can help, and I will put two places underneath because I know that they are working and they are running currently, and they are in dire need of basic essential things for families who do not have means to survive. And then the second column, to be grateful and to share why we are grateful for solo time and why we are grateful for a chance to rest more or for family time, and why we like sleeping in and why we enjoy the stories. And after you've done that, you've at least killed an hour, maybe two if you're doing it right. And then hopefully you will be refreshed more to not focus on COVID, but to focus on something else, on the last point of Lent and on reflecting in Lent time. It is to focus as to why Christ sacrificed his life for us, so that we can learn to become deeply human. And that is something Dallas Willard said, but so that we can in our humanity become free of all these things and focus on God and live out our purpose to love each other and to love God with all our might. So may you have a blessed lockdown day 2. It is Saturday for those of us who even forgot which day of the week it is. And may you have a blessed, safe day. Stay home, stay safe, stay loving. Bye.